Hey guys, what's up, how's it going? My name is Rob and welcome back for another video. In today's video, we're going to be focusing on VDY. I'll give you guys an overview of the ETF and I'll tell you guys why I think VDY is a great ETF to hold if you want access to some Canadian high dividend yield stocks. So I've done a few different ETFs and different stock reviews on this channel, and oddly enough, VDY is one of the basic holdings I have inside my portfolio, and I've actually been buying the stock and I've had it since the beginning of my portfolio. And I actually looked back and I realized I don't actually have a review video of VDY. So I asked myself, why not do a review video? So today's video is going to be focused on that, and we're actually going to finally dive in and kind of talk about this ETF and share with you guys my thoughts and why I hold it inside my stock portfolio. And if you guys watch my channel, you guys know that I'm also a big holder of VDY as well. I have about 30% of my portfolio in VDY, so it's a pretty decent chunk. And the cool thing is, if we head on over to Blossom Social, we can actually see the top stocks that people are holding. And VDY is actually up there quite a bit. Actually, a lot of people hold VDY. It's one of the top rated ETFs. We have 182 holders from Blossom, so that's pretty significant. And if you guys want to see my entire stock portfolio and all my holdings in greater detail, be sure to check out the link in the description of this video. You guys can sign up for Blossom, look me up on Blossom, and you guys can get access to my stock portfolio 100% for free. So to start things off really quickly, here we have the VDY FTSE Canadian High Dividend Yield Index ETF. Here's on the Vanguard website. The current market price at the time of doing this video for VDY is about $41.85 Canadian, so it's a fairly low-priced ETF overall. It's got a management fee of 0.2% and an MER of 0.22. It's got a 12-month dividend yield of 4%, so it's fairly high dividend yield, and it does have a monthly distribution yield. Alright, so the next part of the video we're going to focus on is going to be the fact sheet, and the fact sheet is going to give us a quick little overview of everything that we need to see in regards to this ETF. And I'll go do a quick little overview for you guys so you guys can actually go through yourself. I'll give you guys my opinions, and I'll show you guys how you can kind of assess the basic fact sheet when you look at different ETFs. So most of these fact sheets, you got to check the date of when they're last updated. This one was last updated November 30th, so it's obviously, I would say, pretty relevant. Most of them do get updated on a monthly or at least a quarterly basis. Here we have the name of the ETF at the top itself. That's Vanguard FTSE Canadian High Dividend Yield Index ETF, ticker VDY, as you guys probably already know. On the left side, we can see different things about like the ticker symbol, where it's traded, the currency of what it's traded into. We can see the distribution schedule, which is going to be that monthly dividend, and we can see the different things we can stick it in, management fees, and other things like that. On the right side, we see like the objective, we see some different benchmarks, and then we see some returns as well. So you can kind of get a quick little overview. We're going to talk about returns a little bit later on in the video, and we'll do a little deep dive analysis into a VDY and the returns and compare it to the S&P 500. But we can just see a quick little overview of the past 3 months. The return of VDY is 4%, 1 year, etc., 3 year, 5 year. You can look at all this kind of stuff here, and this is going to be the averages. So if it's 10 years, it's going to say 9.69%. That means over the past 10 years, it averaged 9.69% per year. Just important to kind of take note. Some different things there. Going down here, we have some more information about the holdings of VDY, and this is kind of like the bread and butter, and this is an important thing to really look at. So we can see we have 47 stocks in VDY, so it's not a very big ETF, so to speak. It holds a lot of financials, and if we look at the sector weighting, we can actually see in greater detail that the biggest chunk of VDY is 55% in financials. So it's definitely a financial based fund. But when you think about Canadian stocks, especially Canadian dividend stocks, most of them are financial companies, most of them are energy companies, and it makes sense that when we look at this, the top big holdings are financial and energy. So that's kind of just the way a lot of the dividend and Canadian market is. So if you want something with a little more diversification, or if you want to buy VDY and then maybe buy a few other stocks in different sectors, that's something you can do as well. That's kind of the approach that I've done myself, is I hold VDY to grab the big basket of different stocks, but then I buy some of my own stocks as well. So that's something you guys can do. It's up to what you guys want to do. But we have 47 stocks. Going down here, the top 10 holdings are going to be RBC, TD, so the two top holdings, which represent about 26% of the portfolio. So that's a quarter of the portfolio is spread between TD and RBC, so it's very bank heavy. Third largest holding is Enbridge, some more banks: Canadian Natural Resources, Bank of Nova Scotia, Suncor, TC Energy, Bell, and then CIBC. So you do get a bit of a mix from different sectors. These are very commonly held dividend stocks, so like they're good quality companies. And again, you can look at the higher sector weighting here, and on their website you can actually look at all their holdings. But this is just giving you a big picture view here. So that's how to assess the basics fact sheet. Some of them will have more information than others, but like the main thing you want to look at is things like the returns, the fees, and the holdings of the ETF as well. That's probably the basic things you're looking for when it comes to a fact sheet. And just really quickly, guys, I want to do a little comparison between a VDY as well as the S&P 500. So I have the SP 500 total return as well as VDY here. This little blue line is going to represent the total stock returns of VDY, and this little black line at the top here is going to represent the S&P 500. So overall, we can see that the S&P 500 has outperformed the VDY for the most part, and this is because of the past like 10 years or so. That U.S. markets and tech and everything just seen a big explosion. Always kind of shows you guys why I'm a big fan of holding both U.S. markets as well as Canadian stocks, and they tend to alternate between each other. But nonetheless, the total returns of VDY is actually pretty solid, and the past couple of years has actually kind of creeped up a little bit. So overall, I'm a big fan of holding VDY. It's a smart idea to, if you want to have Canadian exposure, to hold VDY, but also I would always recommend you guys diversify and definitely consider holding a chunkier portfolio in the US markets. And if you guys want a more thorough return to actually see what the actual numbers are, I'm always a big fan of showing this, and I think it's important for people to understand this. So we'll head over to the website, we'll go to the performance tab, and then we can actually see the different things. Like we can go annually and actually see the different types of returns and the different ways this fund is basically getting its returns. So we can see, by year, all the different returns. And again, as an investor, it's important, if you're kind of new and you don't understand how ETFs work, you don't understand like on an annual basis what to expect, this will give you a pretty clear picture of what you can see in terms of return. So the capital return is going to be the stock return, stock price return. When you show you guys the stock graph, that's the kind of what this is. We can see in 2020 negative 5%. So the Canadian markets actually did pretty good in 2020, all things considered. 2019 we've seen a gain of 16%. 2018 negative 14%. So you just got to kind of look at the numbers, and it'll give you guys a good idea of what to expect. 2021 was actually a pretty solid year, plus 31%, so a huge recovery there. And then the next tab here we can see is the income return. So this is the dividend yield, distributions kind of thing. So you are getting a pretty solid dividend yield here, and it is increasing over time by the looks of it. And here on the right side is going to be the total return. So the dividend yield does help at the end of the day to kind of help make the fund a little bit more safer. Whenever you have big months or big years where there's big dips, like minus 14%, it kind of makes your return a little bit better. And then whenever you have good years, like a 15% return, it makes those returns a little bit more solid. So definitely take that into consideration, and you definitely have to look at the total return of the ETF. Alright, so quick little summary and wrap up here to kind of give a conclusion to this video. My thoughts on VDY is that it's a great financial based Canadian high dividend yield fund that you guys can buy and get access to a lot of good quality companies here in Canada. If you guys like dividend stocks and you guys like Canadian dividend stocks and you want a combination of stock growth as well as some good dividend yield, I think VDY is definitely a sweet stock, a sweet ETF to invest into, because honestly guys, I think it's one of the easiest ways to do things. Now the cool thing about VDY, it's got low fees, and you guys can get access to a lot of those bank stocks and whatnot, and you get a monthly dividend. So that's kind of like the main thing, the main reason why I invest into it. It's easy to buy the stocks, it's easy to get diversification, it's got a low fee, and it gives me access to a monthly dividend yield. So that's the main reason why I buy the ETF, and that's the main reason why I hold it inside my stock portfolio. So like usual guys, if you guys enjoyed the video, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up, and if you guys have any questions or anything, leave them in the comment section. I'll try to get back to you guys as quickly as possible. Hope you guys have yourself a good week. Hope you guys didn't get too much snow like we did. But anyways, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you guys later.